Welcome to Matflix, video streaming from maternity experts. My name is Dr. Jenny Hall. I am the box set's curator at Matflix, a fellow of the Royal College of Midwives and a former editor of The Practicing Midwife. At Matflix, we bring together videos of talks from top maternity experts into box sets to support your continued professional development, study and revalidation. It is a perfect study accompaniment for midwives, maternity professionals, midwifery students and anyone thinking about a career in the maternity services. My job is bringing together the latest thinking area by area so you do not have to. Not only do you get the video of brilliant talks and relevant content in thematic box sets, you also get access to the audio version so you can listen on the commute or while you walk the dog. Plus links to the latest research in the relevant field, government policy documents, the presenter's PowerPoint and more besides. Sign up to Matflix now for the best video streaming from maternity experts. You're thinking, but I've never read about these midwives in the Bible, and that's because they didn't make it into the Gospels. Why was it that we nurses, midwives, seem so invisible to the doctors, to the media?
An amazing midwife said to me, you can't be what you haven't seen. These are the world's most researched probiotic, and we can say that with confidence because we've done over 300 clinical trials on this little bottle of goodness.
These awards, as you know, are a celebration of achievement, effort, change, innovation, management, insight, and the many other traits necessary to sustain a proud profession like midwifery and consistent services in maternity.
We invite people to nominate a colleague or a student or a manager, whatever, where they think that person's real trailblazers.
And it's really a celebration of all that's good in midwifery and maternity care.
They recognise individuals, they recognise teams, management and educators. Anyone who values excellence and makes improvements. They are essentially a celebration of all of your achievements. So, shall we get on with it? What you do with your day-to-day lives, I just admire you hugely. If you do want to nominate a colleague, a friend, maybe yourself, please speak to the organisers and visit the website, and I really hope that we'll see you at that.
Okay, now the first award is... What's
nothing, I don't know.
We have had a 40% caesarean section rate in the National Maternity Hospital. That is major abdominal surgery.
Around 40,000 mums did not return to work in 2022. It's even more relevant if you're a mum who's experienced birth trauma.
We spend more money on litigation than we currently spend on the maternity services. It's bonkers.
It's in all of our interests, and particularly the government, to improve maternity services.
We can't achieve our mission unless we bring parents and professionals together.
A revolution needs to happen. We need to start working together.
I know it's a hard time, but for goodness sake, it's the best profession in the world.
Be proud to be midwives, be proud of the job that we do, and continue to celebrate our successes.
Midwives make a difference to women every single day, and let's not lose that. It's more important than anything.
Welcome to Matflix, video streaming from maternity experts. My name is Dr. Jenny Hall. I am the box set's curator at Matflix, a fellow of the Royal College of Midwives and a former editor of The Practicing Midwife. At Matflix, we bring together videos of talks from top maternity experts into box sets to support your continued professional development, study and revalidation. It is a perfect study accompaniment for midwives, maternity professionals, midwifery students and anyone thinking about a career in the maternity services. My job is bringing together the latest thinking area by area so you do not have to. Not only do you get the video of brilliant talks and relevant content in thematic box sets, you also get access to the audio version so you can listen on the commute or while you walk the dog. Plus links to the latest research in the relevant field, government policy documents, the presenter's PowerPoint and more besides. Sign up to Matflix now for the best video streaming from maternity experts.
You're thinking, but I've never read about these midwives in the Bible, and that's because they didn't make it into the Gospels. Why was it that we nurses, midwives, seemed so invisible to the doctors, to the media?
An amazing midwife said to me, you can't be what you haven't seen. These are the world's most researched probiotic, and we can say that with confidence because we've done over 300 clinical trials on this little bottle of goodness.
These awards, as you know, are a celebration of achievement, effort, change, innovation, management, insight, and the many other traits necessary to sustain a proud profession like midwifery and consistent services in maternity.
We invite people to nominate a colleague or a student or a manager, whatever, where they think that person's real trailblazers.
And it's really a celebration of all that's good in midwifery and maternity care.
They recognise individuals, they recognise teams, management and educators. Anyone who values excellence and makes improvements. They are essentially a celebration of all of your achievements. So, shall we get on with it? What you do with your day-to-day lives, I just admire you hugely. If you do want to nominate a colleague, a friend, maybe yourself, please speak to the organisers and visit the website, and I really hope that we'll see you at that.
Okay, now the first award is... What's
nothing, I don't know.
We have had a 40% caesarean section rate in the National Maternity Hospital. That is major abdominal surgery.
Around 40,000 mums did not return to work in 2022. It's even more relevant if you're a mum who's experienced birth trauma.
We spend more money on litigation than we currently spend on the maternity services. It's bonkers.
It's in all of our interests, and particularly the government, to improve maternity services.
We can't achieve our mission unless we bring parents and professionals together.
A revolution needs to happen. We need to start working together.
I know it's a hard time, but for goodness sake, it's the best profession in the world.
Be proud to be midwives, be proud of the job that we do, and continue to celebrate our successes.
Midwives make a difference to women every single day, and let's not lose that. It's more important than anything.
Welcome to Matflix, video streaming from maternity experts. My name is Dr. Jenny Hall. I am the box set's curator at Matflix, a fellow of the Royal College of Midwives and a former editor of The Practicing Midwife. At Matflix, we bring together videos of talks from top maternity experts into box sets to support your continued professional development, study and revalidation. It is a perfect study accompaniment for midwives, maternity professionals, midwifery students and anyone thinking about a career in the maternity services. My job is bringing together the latest thinking area by area so you do not have to. Not only do you get the video of brilliant talks and relevant content in thematic box sets, you also get access to the audio version so you can listen on the commute or while you walk the dog. Plus links to the latest research in the relevant field, government policy documents, the presenter's PowerPoint and more besides. Sign up to Matflix now for the best video streaming from maternity experts.
You're thinking, but I've never read about these midwives in the Bible, and that's because they didn't make it into the Gospels. Why was it that we nurses, midwives, seem so invisible to the doctors, to the media?
An amazing midwife said to me, you can't be what you haven't seen. These are the world's most researched probiotic, and we can say that with confidence because we've done over 300 clinical trials on this little bottle of goodness.
These awards, as you know, are a celebration of achievement, effort, change, innovation, management, insight, and the many other traits necessary to sustain a proud profession like midwifery and consistent services in maternity.
We invite people to nominate a colleague.
And good evening and welcome to this week's Maternity Midwifery Hour. This is Series 18, Session 8, and my name's Sue MacDonald and I'm the curator for the Maternity Midwifery Hour and the Maternity Midwifery Festival, and it's my pleasure to be chairing this evening's session. I have to say, huge apologies for anyone who thought you were going to get Nikki Clark. You can get something good though. Because poor Nikki's poorly and she's lost her voice, so she can't speak, but she'll be here next week. But instead, we use the opportunity to invite 5 fabulous student midwives along this evening, and here they are. We have Safia Sard, we have Nicola Attridge, we have Kel McDermott, we've got Sophie Suddington and Alex Morrison, and there they all are, and they're giving up their precious study time this evening. And I know, and joking aside, we know that students have to balance an awful lot in their lives, so thank you so much for coming. And what we do to our guests always is ask them for a moment of the week. Now, I suspect it might be similar, but I thought I might just go round and ask you, Nikki, would you share your moment of the week?
Obviously the protest yesterday. Yeah, fabulous moment. Really bigger than we thought it was going to be. I don't want to say too much because I know we're all going to have a little bit of our own experience from it. But yeah, my first protest. So I've never been at a protest before, and it was quite a protest to break me in.
Wonderful. Well, we have to start with Safia as well.
Well, my moment of the week is also definitely the protest. Something took over my body while I was there. At the beginning, I was really nervous because I'd organised the protest and I was having to organise the speakers and trying to get people to like do the chants, and I felt really shy at first, and I genuinely can't describe it. It felt like someone else had taken over me, and I was screaming, I was shouting. We were getting people from across the road to sign the petition, and it was like an amazing group of people who came together to support an amazing cause, and to make student midwives' lives better and maternity services better.
And hopefully make a change, actually, I think. Thank you, Safia. How about Sophie?
I would also definitely say the protest. I think like I'd not done a protest before, but I feel like even the preparation beforehand has been really good this week. Like obviously a lot of us were strangers and we had one thing in common. And I think all of us getting together, having our meetings and things like that, it has felt like we've made a little community of people that all care so much.
Fabulous.
Definitely.
The family of student midwives, soon to be midwives. Thank you, Sophie. And I'll go on to Kel now.
Obviously, I'm going to say the protest.
You might choose something else.
No, there was one particular point where we had moved to directly in front of the gates and we got really passionate, and Theo Clark came over and did a little video. Yeah, and yeah, it just became really passionate, and there were lots of people probably going home from work and things, but we had lots of people recording, beeping, just getting really involved, and it just felt really good. It felt really good, like we were doing something special.
Fabulous. So we've got a family, we're making lots of new friends, powerful friends. Great, Kel, thank you very much. And Alex?
Yeah, it's definitely the protest again. It was just so like I travelled from quite far. I didn't know any of the girls at all, and I think just the support that we've given each other yesterday was just so special for us all. And I think it's one of those causes that I think if we don't stand up and shout about it, things aren't going to change. So I think the fact that we're all coming together and just trying so hard to support one another, I think midwifery at times, especially as a student, can feel really lonely. So I think the fact that I've made so many friends from yesterday is just incredible.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's so wonderful to hear, because there's so many things in what you've talked about, of family and connections. and this sort of network that you've built up, which is going to get bigger, which is fantastic. And thank you for sharing this very special moment of the week. I thought it probably would be that. But you could have chosen something else, but I'm glad you didn't, because that was a lovely start. Now I'm going to let you have a moment or two while I just remind people, and some of the people who are with us this evening are old friends and come every week, and some people will be new because they've seen what's on, and I'd like to say welcome to you. Now, this whole thing started, this whole maternity midwifery hour started 6 years ago, if you can believe, 6 years ago, when the first UK COVID lockdown happened, and we needed something for midwives, student midwives, anyone who's in the maternity services, to link up together, get some continuing professional development, and kind of link up and feel as though they weren't all alone. Very scary time at that time, and we weren't allowed to go to study days, weren't allowed to go to conferences or festivals or anything. So this was it for a little while, and we did a lot of shows on the changes that were being made in services, and I remember a lot of them in maternity services, but also in education, because at that time we had to make sure students were getting their knowledge and their skills, but being kept safe as possible, at the same time as women being given safe care. So it's kind of carried on. So we're not talking so much about COVID now, we're talking about really important things that matter to midwives and student midwives, and the sort of thing that we're discussing today really does matter for the future of midwifery. So I'm really pleased we're going to be discussing it. The other thing to say is, any of you who are watching this, if you have a power cut, do not panic, because everything the Maternity and Midwifery Forum do is recorded. So if there's a problem, you can catch up later. Also, because we like you to share everything, when you hear what our guest is going to talk about this evening, you will want to share it with your colleagues and your friends, and you're very welcome to do so, because it's useful to share out the knowledge and the information you're getting on a wider perspective. Also, if you want to get more of this sort of thing, go on to Matflix, and you'll see that the resources sheet will come with all of those links that you can access afterwards. Okay, and we like you to share. And also, because I've got this in my mind, because poor Nikki Clark being poorly this evening, there are some bugs going around which are pretty nasty. So look after yourselves, take care, make sure you're getting enough rest and breaks. I'll say no more. Okay, news. I'm just going to do a short news. Now, the biggest news was the student midwife protest in London, but we're going to go more on that later. The other news was the interim review. I've got the interim review here, which is also on your resources sheet. And that's from Baroness Amos. The full report's expected later in the spring. I know it's spring now, but later in the spring. Also, there are some really good discussions that I've picked up, which I've also put in the resources, which include a Facebook kind of discussion with the wonderful Sue Down and Sheena Byron, just talking about midwifery issues and about the sort of changes that we need to be aware of, and also about the information that Baroness Amos is still gathering, not just from women and families, but also from people who are in the service. So there's a link there to go and put your views and your opinions and your experience there as well. So do that. Now, I was been talking very quickly, and I'm going to now say, very much, we know the student midwives are getting very anxious, as it's been very reported that student midwives are not necessarily being offered jobs. Now, this is, for some of us who were qualified a long time ago, you did your training, and then you knew pretty well that you were going to get a job unless you weren't doing very well in your trust. And now we're aware that students are being told, well, you might not get a job. There aren't that many jobs, and it's a huge anxiety for students. And there was an event at Parliament Square yesterday, 3rd of March, at 4 p.m, organised by the Fund Future Midwives UK, including Sheena Byron was there. Hello, Sheena. Plus MP Maya Ellis. And this campaign is calling for some urgent action, including guaranteed job opportunities, removing of tuition fees, and introducing a fair bursary, because most of you will know the students have a very little funding for themselves, and have to pay their fees and everything, so they end up very poor, as well as working very hard. So this evening we are welcoming Sophia Sard, Nicola Attridge, Kel McDermott, Sophia Saddington, Alex Morrison also, to share with us their kind of journey as student midwives and as activists, which is what they were doing yesterday. So welcome to you all. You're there all on the screen. And I sort of wanted to start off to ask you maybe what it's like to be a student midwife in 2026. Now, I don't know who'd like to share first, but I should think if the other Sophia or Nikki might want to kick off. I don't know.
Sophia, do you want to go first?
Sophia, maybe.
Being a student midwife is a privilege, but particularly in 2026, I think it's been really hard for me and for student midwives across the country to feel like there is hope. I definitely felt a lot more hopeful in my first and second year, and it's only recently that the reports about newly qualified midwives not being able to secure jobs, that's causing a lot of uncertainty. And we've worked so hard. Like, you don't go into midwifery because you don't care, or it's just for money. You go into it because you want to make a difference, and that's why I went into it. And I feel like I'm not being given that opportunity. And it's hard. We have to do 2,300 minimum clinical hours in placement. We pay tuition fees. We're the only nation that actually, in the United Kingdom, that has to pay to be educated in midwifery. And the bursary is not enough at all, especially living in London. We're one of the most expensive cities in the world, and the bursary is still the same no matter where you live. So I don't take my role for granted, and I adore it, and the time I spend with families is so precious, and I just want to be able to continue doing that. But I feel more hopeful now after yesterday, but it's definitely hard.
Yeah. How about Alex there? How does it feel to be you as a student midwife?
For me, it's really hard. I'm a parent of a 7-year-old, and I came into midwifery because I want to give all the families something that I didn't have when I was having my son. And I definitely do feel like I achieved that. But I think as a student midwife in general, but I think particularly as a parent, you sacrifice so much. I've missed like parties, football games, kind of his like assemblies and stuff like that. And I think that's really hard, trying to make a difference whilst you're also kind of missing out at home as well. And I think the families do appreciate what we do for them. They're all very grateful. And I think being able to give them that extra time that qualified midwives can't necessarily give, there's things like documentation, and all stuff to do, whereas we kind of have a little bit more flexibility. But it's really hard. And I think when we all started, we thought we're going to do our 3 years training and we're going to get a job and it's going to be wonderful. And I think also to highlight with the jobs as well, I think it's so important that Parliament need to remember we are giving the most up-to-date information. We're learning all of that at university. And if we're not getting jobs, we're unable to get this new evidence-based information out there and to help support families. And actually, the midwives that are already in the trust that we work in. But again, I think media at the moment is kind of not allowing families to trust us. And I think that's also kind of being reflected a little bit on student midwives as well.
That is hard. It is hard because what you've described is really useful Alex, because that's about balance. It's even worse than just being a working mum, because you're also working mum plus a student. Because I think student midwives have to do the two together, really, don't they? And the sort of issue about the media, which we discussed, I think, in the last few weeks, makes it really hard, because you feel as though, you know, people are looking at you, perhaps not fully trusting you. That's really good. Thank you so much, Alex. Nikki's got her sound on, so how about your perspective? Because you're all slightly different. It's really interesting, isn't it?
We are all different. I'm a mature student, so I gave up my career to retrain to be a midwife. Also, mum of four. To even start this, I had to retake my GCSEs. I then had to do an access course. So I'm like 5 years in nearly to training to become a midwife. Full of hope at the beginning. The kind of has dwindled in this final year. I still trying to remain positive. Like, I think we have to have faith in ourselves that we are good students and we've worked hard. And if a job comes up, I want to hope I'm going to be like a great candidate for that position. I've been well trained. But it's pretty bleak, especially I think in my final year, just with the way things are looking. You look for a job, I think there's one preceptorship role in the whole of England at the moment. As soon as it goes up, it's gonna go down because too many applicants, they have to close it early. I don't know. I don't know where I'm at. It was the thing that as soon as I said I'm going to do it to my family, most people, family and friends said, "Oh, well, you'll always be needed. Like, you know, you're doing something, we actually was guaranteed jobs at the trust we were at. So in first year, we went into our trust, and we was quite lucky in our university that our trust was one of the ones that were guaranteeing us jobs when we qualified. That has been withdrawn now because of the state. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit deflating in the final year to be trying to get everything finished now and get to the end of qualified to know there might not be a job at the end. But I absolutely love it. I am so passionate. I love being in the hospital, not so much in the university, but I think that's because I'm older and I'm past academics. But I absolutely love
GCSEs did it.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I was doing GCSEs at the same time as my son.
Oh,
so we were doing our GCSEs together.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah.
You're all juggling away busily.
Yeah.
And Sophie, that's lovely. Thank you, Nikki. That was really.
So I came straight from sixth form. So I was 18 when I came to uni. I was still kind of in like the academic mind. And I think I did struggle with sixth form. And I think as soon as I started reading into midwifery, and as soon as that passion, was building, I knew that like there wasn't really another option. And I think as well, you tell your family and everyone, even at the time, like 2.5 years ago, it was, the maternity systems, all the services are under pressure. And you did almost feel like, okay, so I'm going to go to uni, do these 3 years, and then I never even second guessed having a job. Like, I just thought, like, with the graduate guarantee. But I think being a student midwife, when I got here, I'd never done a 12.5-hour shift. I think it was very much like I learned everything as it was happening. And I think it has gone so fast that then going into third year was when the stress, it's so stressful. But I think all of us can agree that once you want to be a midwife, that passion is what gets you through, and the long hours, and also trying to have some sort of like social life outside of it as well. Like, I do feel like I am that you do kind of I'm catering my adult life around this career. So I think that's why it's so important. But building a rapport with all the women I look after, and it's been so eye-opening that there's nothing else I would rather do. But it is very, very tough, especially in 2026.
So all 5 of you are staying as midwives if you get your jobs.
Yes, definitely.
That's, I mean, that's pretty damn good, isn't it? Because you're always all balancing really complex things and kind of giving up important things. All of you are giving up something in your lives to do this, which is fabulous. It's hard, very hard, because that's the way it is, but you're having to fit everything into your lives. I mean, it was quite, and in fact, I had sort of think, I was thinking about the best thing and the work and the most challenging thing, but you've all done that almost automatically, which is fantastically. So maybe we should sort of go on to, and I think it was Sophia who kind of led on this whole piece of work with her wing woman, Nikki. Would you, what happened? How did it all begin? Because this is it's become huge. It's there you are in the classroom, a university, and suddenly you're in Parliament Square, meeting all these leaders and people and MPs. I assume it sounds like you had quite a few MPs around yesterday as well. But we'll move on to that later. I want to know the beginning, Sophia.
So the beginning, I honestly just wanted to use my frustration in a positive way. I was so frustrated and I felt nobody was saying anything. It was kind of like, don't worry, you'll get a job. It's fine. Just focus on your exams, focus on this. And it's I couldn't focus. I had it in the back of my mind on placement at uni. Like I've worked so hard for 3 years and now I'm at the end and I'm being told you're not gonna have a job. And it's not just me, there's newly qualified midwives from, last year. They qualified in August. They're unemployed, not by choice. They're desperate to be midwives, and the system needs more midwives, and there's just like there's no balance. Like understaffed maternity services and unemployed midwives really should never coexist. And I've been saying to a friend on the course, I think we need to protest, and I just had this moment of like something needs to be done. And we were just having a chat and I was like, okay, let's do it. We were trying to think of a date. We initially were thinking the Saturday the 8th for International Women's Day, but Parliament doesn't sit on the weekend, so we had to find a way and a date that worked with our schedule. Like we've got exams, we're back on placement next week. And once that happened, we created posters, and then actually it was the maternity festival, and we spoke on stage for a bit to try and get people to get into the protest. And then very quickly it spiraled. I think it was like less than a week later, I was on Women's Hour speaking about student midwives' experience and the lack of jobs. And so many midwives that I look up to were sharing the posts on social media, and I honestly can say that this wouldn't be possible without everyone here. Nikki is a fantastic wing woman, but everyone here. Cal's been doing lots of social media for the Fund Future Midwives UK. It is really a student-led grassroots like baby. It's our baby, and we just want jobs. And I think I feel a lot more positive that I'm using that energy in a more productive way, and I can only just hope that it makes change.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Kel, did I miss you out? Did I just miss you?
A little bit.
No, I have to. No, I have to double back. I just suddenly realised I missed you out of asking what it's like for you. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's okay, honestly.
No, you have to share, Kel. You have to share because you'll be as unique.
Yes. I am a mum of 5, and for me, midwifery's been. I don't know, honestly. I think you just.
Oh my word.
I don't know. For
me, I don't know about you, sorry, but when I'm at work, it's like my day. I say I go to work for a day off.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's busier at home.
Don't admit that.
It's quieter at work.
Yeah.
For me, midwifery's been something that has been in my life forever. I was about 10 when I told my nan I want to be a midwife. I'm not even sure how I knew what it was, but I did. And the passion's just grown ever since. For me, I come from an area that university's not really the done thing. People just kind of work and get on with it, but none of my family has ever been to university. It wasn't something that anybody really knew about. So it was something that I had to go and figure out myself. And just the way that my life fell, it wasn't something that I could do immediately. But as soon as it was possible, I was straight back in there to that passion never went away. I tried lots of careers in the meantime and it just never went away. So for me, midwifery's always been the thing that I wanted to do. And it's always been the thing that I've been told, oh, they always need midwives. Midwives are always needed. And then you get there and you get to your third year and you realise that they might need me, but there's nowhere for me to go. And that's like really disheartening. I've kind of had my heart set on this life, this career, and now I've got to face the fact that actually that might not happen. I feel a lot more positive from yesterday and I feel like it could happen again. But something really needs to change, otherwise it's not going to.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kel, for that. Another juggling woman, juggling future midwife. And I think thank you, Sophia, for starting off also the kind of story. I think we need to share about what happened yesterday, because unless you want to add, unless anyone wants to add anything so far.
I just want to say on the back of what Saf said is, obviously we were telling everyone about the protests and it went quite mad on Instagram. And then there was a few people that had messaged saying, I really can't make it to the protest, but I support you guys. And so there was like, we need to start a petition for people who want to support but can't be there. And actually then we know if you receive a certain amount of signatures on a petition, you can then deliver it to Parliament or tell your MPs about it. So then I got onto the petition, which we were really trying to promote yesterday to all the passerbys to please support us, sign the petition. So that's kind of, I just thought, even if people couldn't be there yesterday, there's still a way of people supporting us and getting involved.
Now, I noticed, not everybody, which was what was fantastic about you guys being able to come today, because it means that we could cascade to all the student midwives and midwives about what's going on and the fact they can sign the petition and get involved and do things like write to your MP. It's very effective, because if enough of us write to our MPs, they have to take notice. It feels sometimes, and I've done a bit of it on quite a few occasions, you write off this letter, you think, oh, it's not going to come to anything, but they do have to listen and they do have to respond. And even if you get a form letter and you think that's just, they've written that to everybody, sooner or later they have to be able to discuss it. And with a petition gaining the 100,000, I think it is now, isn't it, signatures, they have to discuss it in Parliament. And I think having a demonstration in Parliament's gardens is quite a strong impetus for people to take notice. So what a fantastic thing to do. So next stage, okay, tell me all about yesterday. Give me a 10 penneth, because again, people who couldn't get there need a flavour of what it was like and what, doing these protests. You all said you've never been on a protest before, and you see on TV protests. And did you have drums, by the way? Just wondered.
No.
I just wondered.
No.
On some protests, you'll get someone with a drum, and that's really quite good.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yeah.
We did have a megaphone and our loud voices, though, so I feel like that did the job.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to get the loud voices and the megaphone.
And times a little bit as well.
Okay.
So it wasn't an actual drum, but we did do a little bang.
And they were shouting from Sophia.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So does anyone want to sort of give a little potted version? How about Kel? Because you had the last say.
Yeah. So I think I was one of the first to arrive, and I saw Alex and Safia across the road, and we all started, "Way, we're here!" And we kind of walked over to the statue, the suffragette statue, because we thought it would be a good starting point. And I was quite excited about how many were there, but I was a little bit like, "Oh, is this going to be it?" Because it wasn't a huge gathering, but I thought, we've got big voices, it won't matter. But very quickly, it became a lot bigger, a lot bigger. Safia had arranged for some people to be speaking, so we went to a corner. We were told we weren't allowed in certain areas, so we moved along. Yeah. So we went somewhere we were allowed, and we started having the speakers having their stories, having their voices heard. And then, lots of chanting, lots of people engaging with us as they were going past and going about their normal life. And then towards the end of the night, for me, was the highlight where we got in front of the Parliament gates. We couldn't be there before because there was actually another protest going on that we were unaware about. Yeah. So when we first got there was actually 2 other protests.
Oh my word.
Yeah, so there was protests with tractors, but they very quickly moved on. And then another protest that was directly in front of Parliament. So we couldn't quite get the spot we wanted to begin with, but we got there in the end. And then it became, I think we got a lot more passionate when we got there and we could see where they were and where we were aiming our chants at.
Okay. And were there mothers and babies to be seen supporting you? Because I know one of the midwives events that we had a couple of years ago, it was lovely to see mums and their babies coming along to kind of support as well. No.
Yeah, we had lots of midwives and just mothers that had their babies. We had doulas, we had student midwives, we had midwives who came to support the students, we had lecturers, we had people from all walks of life, and we had people joining us from the street. We had family members. I had one of my friends who came. And it was brilliant. And honestly, I didn't expect this. I remember speaking to Nikki, like, it was not even a few weeks ago because that's when it started. And I said to her, I'll be happy with 10 people. And she was like, no, you've got to aim higher, 20. And we definitely exceeded both our numbers. And it was just so it's just so warming to see that people actually do care. And this is just what we managed to get with 3 weeks notice. So just imagine what the next thing could be. And yeah, this is not just a student midwife issue. This is a midwifery issue. This is for student midwives, for midwives, for families. We all deserve better. And the petition actually aims to, one of the demands that we want is tuition fee debt to be erased for midwives who qualified after 2017, because it is a massive financial burden, and we're entering a profession to care. It's unfair. And so it's an everyone issue, and we just want support, basically.
Okay, I'll allow that one. Sophie, what about your perspective yesterday?
I thought yesterday was great. Like, everyone with their signs. I think as soon as like other people started joining in as well, it was like, oh, okay, this is what people must feel when they do these. And like, even if a car would drive past and then like you can see people like reading your signs, and then like they're beeping their horn, and even things like that. Like, I think we could have been stood there for hours. Like, I think just the feeling of it, and especially the speakers, like everyone that spoke, even the microphone at the time, like the microphone wasn't that loud, but everyone just like went quiet just so they could hear what everyone had to say. But yeah, like I'm so glad that I went, and I'm so glad that Safia started this thing.
Okay.
Definitely.
You signed up for the next one.
Oh, I will be there.
You'll be there. You'll be there. I'm just thinking there's people. I just need to welcome people. We've got people from Qatar and Ghana tonight as well. So it might be a little bit different there. And I think your issue of it's as important for midwives, because I know when we've spoken to midwives and said this is happening, i.e. student midwives being told there are no jobs. If you're a busy midwife and you know you're short-staffed and you know you can't quite do what you want to do because there aren't enough staff, and you know that you've got students who have been in the wings learning, who are ready. And I think Sophia's point about the evidence-based, was it Sophia or was it Alex now?
It's me, sorry.
Alex, about having all this lovely chunks of knowledge that you're ready to fly with. It's very frustrating for midwives. So I think you'll have a lot of midwives with you on this, actually. I mean, I'll say to anyone who's listening now, if you want to send some questions to our wonderful student midwives, now's your time, because Paul is there ready. I'm looking over here because they come out on the screen, as you know, here to send them over to address them, and you can point them at different people if you want different people's perspectives. That's grand. That's grand. So how about Alex? Have you said anything about yesterday?
Just apart from my bit at the beginning, so I travelled about 2.5 hours from the south to join yesterday. Had my sign on the train, the massive sign. I'm only 5 foot, and my sign was probably half the size of me. I was really nervous, but I was also really excited to kind of get behind it. And the little train guard, he came along and had a look at my sign and was like, that is a petition I could really get behind. Kind of went along, and I think I said to Sophia, when we got to Waterloo, he did his little tannoy on the train, and was like, right, we've now arrived at London Waterloo, and then was like, oh, and by the way, can you sign the student midwives petition, because it's a really great thing that she's doing. And I just went bright red like I do now. And I shared it with a couple of people like at the train station and stuff, so that was really lovely. And I think just like the girls have said, like I think whether there would have been kind of 10 of us or whether there was the amount of us that there were, I think just us all coming together and kind of having onlookers supporting us as well. And Sheena Byram as well, for her to come along. I think that was really lovely to know that we have got that support and people are behind us. And it's not just us student midwives that are kind of, some people might think that we're just complaining, but actually this is a crisis and it needs to be fixed, and we need jobs. That we're not asking for much. We just need jobs. But yeah, yesterday was incredible.
Well, and we need you, quite honestly, because and the other, I mean, as an ex-teacher, as a midwife, I know that if you don't practice soon after you qualify, it's really difficult to keep that confidence, because you that first week in practice is really scary. I think about that, and it's a while since I was in that situation, but you kind of think you have to know everything. And of course, as a student, you don't know everything, but you know quite a lot of that evidence-based stuff, Alex, as you put so well.
And I think as well, another worrying factor about this whole crisis is, like the girl said before, you've got students that qualified the year before us that don't have jobs. And then by the time they get into a job, hopefully, they would have de-skilled, and this is going to be a constant domino effect. And things change, the evidence changes all the time, and we cannot have these midwives and our student midwives learning all the things that we need to keep women and their families safe, and it go to waste.
No.
We need this just as much as they do, I think.
Absolutely. That was a really good point, Alex. Thank you for that. Now, I've got a question that's come through. Now, Megan wants to know, can we recap what Theo Clark spoke to us about? That's Megan. Thank you, Megan. Now, who has got a crisp thing from Theo? Nikki's nodding away.
It will probably be Saf or Kel, because when Theo spoke, the chants were so loud behind her that I couldn't hear what she actually said. But
I
I think
have an
Kel
action
was doing,
replay with the chanting, really, shouldn't we?
yeah, I think Kel was doing the transcript for it. So I don't know if she's done that yet, but she might actually know the words that came out.
Kel, you're on mute.
Sorry.
That's okay. No worries. No worries.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Theo did speak to Safia at the beginning, so Safia will have to fill us in with that bit. But she made a video. The chants were really loud, so I've had to really listen. But she was just saying that this is what she was describing in the birth trauma inquiry, and that she completely stands with us and supports our petition.
No, that's grand. That's grand. Do you want to add to that, Safia?
No, not really. But yeah, she just said, "What do you want?" She was going to Parliament, and she said, "What do you guys want?" And we said to her, "What the petition about?" And we want jobs. And she said, "Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to campaign for." One of the things that that's in her campaign. And yeah, she recorded a video, but as Cal and Nikki have said, the chants were so loud that actually the video needs subtitles. You actually can't
It's
hear
that
much.
passion. It's the passion.
Exactly. But I think it just speaks volumes of the passion that was there. And we'll be posting the video soon. So that's look out for that.
Okay. So you're gonna have a website, or are you doing it on Instagram?
On Instagram.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get used to Instagram. I'm not really good on Instagram. I'm gonna have to do it to get all the up to date.
Yeah. Although I must say, my husband is an IT guy, so I mean, if we want a website, Safia, it might be an option.
Oh, now that would be good. That would be good. So you have to use these family links, and that means the extended midwifery family.
Yeah,
the families. Yeah, that's grand. Thank you. So I hope you're happy with that, Megan. I've got a different Megan, I think, and that's Megan Bourne. And she says, as a third-year student midwife, I care so deeply about the profession and making a difference to families in our care. We want to be the change and help maternity services improve. We just need the chance to do so. So that's not a question, that's a comment. And I think everyone's nodding very sagely. Quite right. Thank you, Megan. And then Joe, hi Joe, says, I was in awe yesterday about how brilliant all the student midwives handled yesterday. They supported, communicated, and got their voices heard. Brilliant. Fantastic. And the only request, we've got a request for the petition link. So we'll have to put that in the chat. That's it. So that's grand. So now, if you had to sum up, what's this? It's getting into the lift with the chief executive. If you had to get in the lift with the chief executive and say what you're asking for, should this be a Safia, or should it be a Nikki? Oh, Kel, you mean? Safia, you're in the no, it can't be the chief exec. Let's say the health minister. There, you're in the lift. You've got a minute in the lift. I mean, you could jam the lift so you can't move. That might be an option. 3 things you want. When do you want it? Now.
Now, we want job guarantees for qualified midwives. We want fairer bursaries that actually reflect cost of living. And we want tuition fees funded. We do like the way Wales do it. We think if you're not just going to give them away, then put us on a guarantee that we'll give a certain amount of years back to the NHS after we're trained and scrap the fees. But we think everyone who's been charged to take this degree and go on to be a midwife since 2017, when the fees came back in, It should be scrapped. We want the debt cleared and we want free tuition.
Well, I wouldn't argue. Anyone want to ask for anything extra? I think those 3 things will do for now.
I would like some more therapy. Therapy for all midwives, student midwives. Yeah, we need ways to be able to not cope, but just to support ourselves and support our nervous system. It's a fantastic role that we play, but we are in a society now where there's more complex needs, and therefore we have a stronger demand, and we need to look after the women, birthing people, their families, but we also need to look after ourselves. And I think that's a really, really important thing is, not self-sacrifice. I want the system better for the people that I'm looking after and for me and my colleagues as well.
That's a really good point. And it's interesting because as you were talking, I was thinking we learned a lot in COVID times, which was way before you came in, but some of the things like having timeout rooms or wobble rooms, they call them, and I think they've all gone now. If you had a stressful time, you could just go off, make a cup of tea and maybe talk to a colleague. But it's sort of looking after the whole team. It's looking after people, and you're quite right, we need to be able to look after each other, but also you might need skilled help to deal with some of the things you're dealing with in your working life. So that's a really good point, Sophia. Thank you for that. So take notice, Health Minister, that'd be quite useful. Okay, I've got another comment from Claire Angel. Recruitment of student midwives into trusts and into a system that's struggling will initiate a ripple effect. Increasing staffing gives us the opportunity to spend more time with women and families, more time providing quality care, leading to better environments for women to birth in, leading to better outcomes and experiences for birthing people. The NHS spend, this is a very good point, the NHS spend over 2 billion a year in reparations. If we have even 10% of this figure for recruitment into trust, this will significantly reduce the NHS bill. That's great. Thank you, Claire, for that. That's really useful. And then Sophie Fernihow, also a third-year student midwife. We put our heart and soul into midwifery practice and caring for families. We deserve to be recognised and noticed. We work as hard as all the midwives, obstetricians, support workers. The difference is we pay to do what we're doing with no guarantee of jobs at the end. We want to be the change of midwifery and improve the care women deserve to have. We deserve the chance to do this. We want women to trust us and feel safe and cared for. Beautifully point. Thank you. And we have a comment from Jane Marshall. Hi, Jane, thanks for this. And she says, petition signed and circulated. So that'll be a really good number of people who'll be exposed to filling in the petition, which is fantastic. Now, I'm just making sure I haven't missed anything because these all come whizzing through. That's grand. Okay. Now, is there anything else anyone would want to be doing next? What are your next steps? Apart from Kel's partner being able to set up a web page, which is good. I think that's a good point.
We just want to keep the momentum going, don't we?
Yeah.
We've already got our next meeting arranged for on the weekend when we're going to start making some plans. Yeah, Kel.
Yeah, I think what we're going to plan is to protest further. I think we're going to plan to do multiple places at the same time to try and have more of an outreach for more students. Because for me, me and Sophie, we both come from the same university and we're all the way in Worcestershire. So for us yesterday, it was really important for us to get to London, but it was quite a mission. So it would be nice. We've had a lot of students reach out and say they would have loved to have come, but not having the funds to be able to get to London, which is, understandable. So having multiple places where we can all kind of agree on a time, a day, and just have that impact of multiple places at the same time. I think that's probably going to be one of our next moves.
sort of long-term thing. Sophia, you're going to say something, I think.
No, I'm just going to echo both Nikki and Kel.
Right,
We're
okay.
going to try and keep the momentum going. And I know we're not going to back down until we see real change. We're going to keep going, keep showing up, for not for ourselves, but for the future of maternity services and for the people and the birthing people and the women that are using the system. You know, we're all in the same system. So yeah, we're not going to back down, and we're going to keep fighting until we get jobs and we improve maternity services.
So how are you gathering up? Because you're all third year students, aren't you? Staring at potentially. I mean, I'm hoping that this maybe that it's just timing. Maybe I was thinking March, April, things slow because if there's vacancies, people can freeze them and that sort of thing. So yeah, might not. How are you going to make sure it's passed on to second years, for example, the first year, so that they're kind of I mean, I'm hoping it might be achieved before, but you have to kind of think, don't you, that things sometimes take longer.
I think the biggest message to second and first year students is a year ago we were in their exact same position, and the third years that were ahead of us, you know, I know quite a few from, you know, our university that are unemployed, and you know, you don't think that it's going to be you in that situation. You always think, no, I'll be fine, but actually we have to think of not just ourselves but our other students, and we're not just competing with, you know, I'm not just competing with people in my year. I'm competing with the cohort a year ahead of me. And actually, there's some universities that have an April cohort, an April intake. And so the biggest thing is that you don't think it's going to be you until you're in that situation, and that's what we do not want. We don't want it to be like a never-ending cycle. And the aim of the petition is to actually just try and also galvanize, you know, midwives that, you know, hopefully want their debt erased, and student midwives, you know, in their first and second years that want fairer bursaries or the tuition fees cut. And so yeah, we're just trying to make it equal for everybody, but I think the key message is that it's an everyone problem. It's an everyone problem. It's not just a few students here and there, a few newly qualified midwives here and there. It's we're all born. We all need maternity services.
So have you mapped across England? Are there any places where there are jobs? This is a bit unfair because we didn't talk about this before, but it's kind of, you kind of think, I know in the past people have said, oh, there's some jobs up in Scotland, we'll go to Scotland or Wales, but in England that's the main problem, isn't it, at the moment?
I mean, I don't know what it looks like today, but I did look the week before last, and there was 2 jobs. One was on the Isle of Wight, and one was, I think there was one
Scottish Highlands as well.
Scottish Highlands. I think today one has been released in Bournemouth, Southampton. There's one job has been released in Southampton, which I know we
actually put like that. It's very bold. Whoa.
And that's been circulated amongst all student midwives that are going to qualify this year, this one job. And we're in London and we got it. So I can only imagine it's gone to people closer to Southampton.
That's very vivid, Nikki. That's very vivid.
Yeah.
I think I can't talk about the Bournemouth one, but I know that my local trust have actually put extra measures in now. So previously they would post the job and then people would interview for the job, whereas now we have to sit exams before we can have an interview, because because so many people are applying for such a small amount that they're having to kind of whittle it down almost. So yeah, the process of even getting an interview for these jobs now is becoming harder and harder.
Good grief.
Which I kind of understand from the hospital's point of view, because I mean they are putting these jobs out, they're having to close them really early. So we've already been told as third years we need our applications amongst everything else we're doing at the moment to get to qualify and our exams and hours and births. We're being told to have literally our personal statements, our bios all set up already on the job website, so that when a job comes out, you're literally ready to hit the button, because they are closing them so quickly because of the amount of applicants that are going forward for these positions. So yeah, I didn't think we'd be here this time last year.
No. It's awful. It's just awful.
I think our uni told us that we needed to get it done by October last year and have it ready and done. And the trusts in my local area, so I'm down south, the majority of them only kind of take on the students that have already been there, that have trained there for 3 years, which I completely understand. But again, they're very limited kind of posts, and then that kind of makes it harder again for everybody else. So yeah,
it's tough going. Very
Yeah.
tough. I mean, I suppose it's good having your CV and your personal statement ready, but kind of a year ahead, it seems quite hard going. Now, I've got a few more comments coming through. I've got Laura somewhere. I don't know where she's from, but she says she's happy to do something up north. Thank you, Laura. You need to contact
us through Instagram, I think would be the best way.
Yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah.
You guys are all Instagram savvy. And then we've got Clara who says, or Clara, hi Clara, or Clara, says, very proud of all the speakers for organising the campaign and protest and speaking tonight. Absolutely. So inspirational to all student midwives. Very lucky to train with both Sophia and Nikki and meet all the student midwives yesterday who share the same values and passions as myself. That's fantastic. Absolutely superb. Now, I'm going to finish with one comment, and this is from Arwa Hadid. And she says, what an amazing lot of proactive midwifery students. So much to hope for, to hold on to for the midwifery profession when they're in upcoming people like yourselves, taking on important issues that you're personally facing. So well done from Samawa, and well done from all of us here. I always say, and guess what? It's the end of the hour. And I always say this hour is the fastest in the week, but I have to say it's been brilliant, because it is inspiring to hear you speaking. And it's nourishing actually to think of you as being midwives, because it's really important that we get people who are so passionate, who are so committed, who are balancing their lives, balancing their children, 5, 4, 1, however many, balancing it all, and going without to get to follow your dreams and get there. And I'm so sad that we're having to face this, but I'm feeling very optimistic that with you guys and the campaign you're running, someone is going to have to listen. So those of you who are out there who haven't engaged with your local MP, first of all, find out who it is. It's quite easy. Actually, I might put some guidelines on the resources for next week, but it's quite easy to get to find who it is. And I'm sure there'll be a form letter somewhere and a kind of a suggestion that they might like to be aware of the petition that's in place. We all need to be politically aware now. We can't escape it. It's not twin set and pearls time. It's time to be active, to get on the slogans and the chanting. The only thing you need, Sophia and Nikki, Kel, Sophie and Alex, is your drum. I think we need a drum here at the next event. So thank you so much for coming, all of you, because I know you're very busy and you're putting up with all sorts of other things. Got a lot of study. I interrupted them today when they were studying in order to invite them along this evening, because I thought it was fantastic to be able to share what they were up to. So thank you to Sophia, to Nicola, to Kel, to Sophie and Alex, and huge good wishes and luck for you in the future. And I think you'll get it because you're working so hard at this. So good luck. I'm keeping my toes crossed. I'm thanking also Angelo. Now, Angelo is behind the scenes recording everything. So for those of you listening, you'll have this as a link after the hour's over. Well, probably tomorrow, I think. And also as a podcast on Friday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning for those of you who like the listening so early. I used to like doing that with the running, but you know, that's one thing. And also Paul for sending through the questions and comments through to me. And I just need to say next week we have got Nikki, who hopefully will be better by next week, talking about the consequences of the rising caesarean section rate on midwifery. And in the meantime, thank you again to our wonderful student midwives. Take care of yourselves, students here. Take care of yourselves, students everywhere and listeners. And we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
These awards, as you know, are a celebration of achievement, effort, change, innovation, management, insight, and the many other traits necessary to sustain a proud profession like midwifery and consistent services in maternity.
We invite people to nominate a colleague or a student or a manager, whatever, where they think that person's a real trailblazer.
And it's really a celebration of all that's good in midwifery and maternity care.
They recognise individuals, they recognise teams, management and educators. Anyone who values excellence and makes improvements. They are essentially a celebration of all of your achievements. So, shall we get on with it? What you do with your day-to-day lives, I just admire you hugely. If you do want to nominate a colleague, a friend, maybe yourself, please speak to the organisers and visit the website, and I really hope that we'll see you at that.
Okay, now the first award is what's
nothing, I don't know.
We have had a 40% caesarean section rate in the National Maternity Hospital. That is major abdominal surgery.
Around 40,000 mums did not return to work in 2022. It's even more relevant if you're a mum who's experienced birth trauma.
We spend more money on litigation than we currently spend on the maternity services. It's bonkers.